Yeah, usually I'll give the pedal like 3 good hard pumps. Yeah, unfortunately, brake pedal's the only thing I'm pumping on the weekends, so. Alright, so surprise on a Saturday. A couple reasons I'm here today. I'm tired of the shitty brakes in my Skyline, and then Big G, Grant from Battle Garage, needed help with his brakes. And he's out of town this weekend, so we're only a couple weeks away. There's a all Corolla run group, I think, at T Hill West on the 23rd of this month. I'm just gonna do him a favor and help him out. I think I'm gonna put in the new brake booster and then bench bleed his master cylinder, and then hopefully help myself out to brakes that actually work in my car. It's funny because this is the second daily driver I've had with bad brakes. So yeah, let's get started. I'll get a uniform on, get my dog some water, and yeah, let's have fun on a Saturday. Got all these cars to move out first. Looks like a few weekends ago he actually got the booster in. I know he told me he was missing the clevis that goes on the brake pedal, and so this frustrates me a little bit, and I'll show you guys why. Pro tip, if you're gonna install a booster, you need to measure the length of that clevis, or how far the clevis goes on before you lock it down. And also put it on before you put the booster on, because now I'm gonna have to do some wizardry to try to get the clevis on, so taking the brake pedal off or something. Yeah, usually when you put a booster on, get the clevis length right and put it on with the booster together, so you don't have to fight this nonsense like I have to do right now. My other booster with the clevis is upstairs in storage, so we're gonna grab the clevis off of that thing, measure the length it's at. We're gonna take off all this heat shield and stuff, take off that brake master. We're gonna go bench bleed it. I can almost guarantee Big G did not bench bleed that thing last time, because I saw him prep for his last Button Willow track day, and he put that thing on way too fast, which tells me he probably didn't bench bleed it. Any car, when you install one of these, gotta bench bleed it, or else you're never gonna get all the air out. That's the short story. This is what I'm talking about, the clevis length. So I matched this length off of a brake booster I took off another car. This will at least get you in the ballpark. There's actually a service manual spec for brake pedal height, so how high the brake pedal is off the floor. So that's actually the correct way to do the clevis length, but matching it off the old car, this will at least get you in the ballpark. So I'm gonna take this clevis off, measure the length with the most accurate ruler in the world, and just put it on the same length as on Big G's car. I'm gonna have to do some wizardry to figure out how I'm gonna get this on with the booster already installed. Cool, I got the brake pedal out. 2 14s on each side. Definitely not fun to take out under the dash. There looks like there's a bushing and a pin right here, so we got some grease. We're gonna re-grease this guy before we go back in. See where we're at with the best ruler that man can buy. I'm gonna call that 12 millimeters. I'm gonna put a paint mark on the one inside the car, so I'm not holding a ruler up in there. And then throw the clevis on, tighten these two down, and then yeah, we're almost. Well, no, we're not almost there. We got a lot more nonsense to take care of. So yeah, join me, won't you? Yeah, you can see how much of a pain that clevis was. That added about an hour and a half. There she is. Got the return spring. Clevis is on there. I'm out of breath because, yeah, that was ridiculous and I'm not happy. So, but the important thing is I got it. And yeah, brake feels actually really good. Yeah, lubed up that pin before it went in. But we're still gonna bench bleed the brake master cylinder, so we're gonna take that out next. But yeah, we should be all done inside the car. I know this is a really modified example, but pro tip, you can actually replace the booster without replacing the master, just in case one fails without the other. So stock proportioning valve, there's 2 bolts. I'll actually unbolt these 2, unbolt the master, and you can actually slide everything forward and get the booster out, so that you don't have to bleed the brakes. You can just do the booster itself. That's just a pro tip for you guys who need to do booster, who have a failed booster only. But yeah, let's take out all this nonsense, bring this to the bench, and we're gonna bench bleed this, because I guarantee you there's air stuck in this guy. Got that brake master off. So a few things before we continue. Brake booster push rod length, you can check out my video on this, but ended up with this new booster. I had to extend that push rod just a hair. The brake fluid level sensor, this was tough to disassemble, and pro tip, any of these, almost any connector inside the car, dielectric grease on the outside, and then also inside the pin terminals, and that'll actually help with like connection and weather sealing issues. It'll be easier to go connect them and disconnect them. Dielectric, the miracle product. All right, so pretty funny, it just dawned on me to write booster on this thing so I don't have to keep looking at the instructions every time. Show you how this guy goes. And then that push rod should match up on the other side. All right, here we go. I keep these plugs because it's good to plug up the ports when you're bringing your master over to the bench or then back to the car, so then fluid's not leaking everywhere. I guarantee you, on our first press, we're gonna get a bunch of air out of this thing, so. Cool, you can see some of the residual air bubbles. The fluid in this thing's pretty nasty too, so I mean, race car that sits for a prolonged period of time, or if you leave a car in storage, yeah, that's what happens. Brake fluid will collect water like that and turn freaking nasty. So I'm gonna continue bench bleeding this guy. We're gonna put these two plugs in this port, bring it over, and then install it on the car. Brake master's in. Got both of those fittings in. I usually give the brake pedal like 3 good hard presses to make sure those lines aren't leaking, and pedal feels really good, so hopefully that solved Grant's issue. Yeah, usually I'll give the pedal like 3 good hard pumps and make sure those fittings aren't leaking, and I'll double check how the pedal feels. Yeah, unfortunately brake pedal's the only thing I'm pumping on the weekend, so. And then pretty cool, if you guys remember the Impulse kit, we made this a lot prettier with a block off plate and our own custom boot from Low Car. I still have the carbon trim. It's a waste not to use it. I might actually cut that thing up and cut it to fit and get the interior back in this thing. So if you want to see that Impulse carbon trim back in this thing, leave a comment below. Maybe we'll put it back in. Alright, so if you guys can't tell, I am overworking on Grant's car, so I'm just gonna button it up and then yeah, we'll continue on to my car. Alright, so after a little bit of unexpected Autohaus work on the weekend, we're back. I got some food in me, I feel a little bit better, got the uniform on. Goal today is to get the brakes working in that thing. Oil change is due. I've been waiting for this next oil change to put in the magnetic drain plug. Aftermarket rear rebuild kit, that's another goal, to rebuild the rear calipers today. New caliper bolts, so I got caliper bolts for a 300ZX. These are supposed to be for the front. Found out yesterday that these are actually too long for my car. They actually need to be about the same length as these, but I took a gamble and these bolts weren't that expensive, so that's fine. I got 4 rear ones for 300ZX. I'm hoping they fit because my bolts look really crusty, so yeah, we'll pull the calipers off and rebuild the rears. Let's get started. Still gotta put on this one that I fresh rebuilt. All right, before we go too far, let's do a little bit of a recap where I'm at. Yeah, you can see last time I put pads in this thing, no wonder like the seals are worn, or the seals are torn, and you know, I was like, oh, I don't know when I'm gonna build these, but or rebuild them, but today'll be the day. Yeah, 1030 Amsoil. Got my Nismo drain plug. I swear it's like one manufacturer that makes all these because my Project Kick ones look exactly the same. So yeah, lucked out on the rears. 300ZX rear bolts are the same as R33 GTST. Fortunately, I'll be using my rear bolts. Got some new hardware from Centric. These are 300ZX specific, but they'll work out for me. And yeah, we'll continue our work. I just want to say it's a beautiful evening. The temperature is like perfect right now with the garage door open. And then yeah, I know some of you guys have commented or even told me in real life I work like ridiculous hours, but practicing being mindful rather than a mindful, something that I've been working on. So I mean, just enjoying like the nice weather and the garage open. All right, so I split one of the rear calipers. You can see it's pretty nasty in there. So there's actually 2 O-rings that seal the caliper halves, and I guess back in the day people would just reuse these since you couldn't get them. But I got this kit from Z1 Motorsports. I'm hoping I don't have the same problem with the square cut seals as I did with the fronts with the aftermarket kit. But these come with the little washers or O-rings that go in the halves. And it's a good thing I decided to split these because these are like absolutely rocks. And you can even, I know it's tough to see, but that guy's actually deteriorating. Some of that nasty is exactly what that nasty is. Yeah, I'll continue to clean these. I got some PB Blaster soaking in there because that piston's kind of stuck, which might explain some of my other braking problems. But yeah, I am really looking forward and excited to finally having good brakes on this car. Yeah, this car, this one. All right, got the second caliper apart. Equally, if not more, as nasty. This O-ring is like super flat. This O-ring is like super thin. It's like a rock at this point. That in there, that's all sludge. Yeah, rebuilding calipers isn't just new seals. It's cleaning, you know, literally cleaning the crap out of these guys. Alright, so after a long time behind the parts washer, got all the parts cleaned and laid out. My shot cup full of brake fluid to lubricate everything. It's getting really late, later than I expected, so I'm gonna get these guys together, get them on the car, bleed the brakes, and we will fast forward and come back. All right, definitely getting late, so got the calipers on. First round of bleeding. Sometimes it takes a couple times with brand new brakes. I don't know what it is. Sometimes it takes a couple rounds of bleeding, but yeah, so far so good. No breaks, or no, you can see how tired I am. No leaks, knock on wood. Again, like 3 firm presses and a good hold. You should still like road test for a little bit, maybe like a day, and then come back and then double check everything, because yeah, stuff likes to settle into place. Sometimes it doesn't, and then you got to tighten it up a little bit more. But yeah, brake pedal feels all right. It's not a good, this isn't good to gauge with just one lug nut on here, because the rotors can still do this, and you can like, it simulates like a spongy pedal. But so the most accurate way, actually, I'm gonna put on all 4 wheels now that I know it's not leaking. Go drive it. So I'm gonna wrap this guy up. Still got like 20 minutes to clean up shop before I go home and take in all the cars and stuff. So maybe that'll be 30 minutes. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this Saturday. If you like videos like this, let me know. We can hang out more often, right? Yeah, thanks again for all the support. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.